Hello and welcome everyone to the YouTube channel of GiveMock.com. I hope you all are doing good. In our last video, we looked after 45 important MCQ from the first module of Advanced Bank Management subject for CAIB examination. In this video, we will be looking after 35 important MCQs dealing with the theory portion of second module for the Advanced Bank Management subject of CAIB certification for your upcoming examination on 20th December. Without wasting much of your time, let's start with the 35 important MCQ session. Coming to the first question, cash flow in future is worth less than cash flow today. Which of the following statement does not substantiate the view? Options are A. Present consumption is preferred to future consumption. Option B. Due to inflation, value of money depreciates in proportion. Option C. Due to uncertainty of receiving the cash now, value of cash in future may be of higher yield. Or option D, adjusted cash flow of same amount may have lesser value in future. So you have to tick mark the answer which does not substantiate the view. You can do one thing, you can start ticking your answers at once, and in the last you can tally how much score you are getting out of 35. So the correct answer to this question is option C. Option C is opposite to the view. It does not substantiate, but it is opposite to the view that cash flow in future is worth less than cash flow today. So the correct answer is option C. Due to uncertainty of receiving the cash now, value of cash in future may be of higher yield. This negates the above statement. Coming up to the next question, discount rate is the rate, and options are A. At which the present and future cash flow are matched. Option B. At which banks lend funds to the government for PPP schemes. Option C, which is the differential rate under PPF and SKY and other government schemes. Or option D, where a dealer sells the traded bond in the secondary money market. So the correct answer to this question is option A. Discount rate is the rate at which present and future cash flows are matched. A higher discount rate leads to lower present value for future cash flow. Coming up to the next question. Third question is, present value of a future payment is calculated by. The options are multiplying the payment amount by discount factor, dividing the payment amount by discount factor, integrating the payment amount by discount factor, or differentiating the payment amount by discount factor. The correct answer to this question is present value of future payment is calculated by multiplying the payment amount by discount factor. Coming up to the next question. Fourth question is, if the discount factor is greater than 1, then options are a rupee is more worthy than a rupee tomorrow. A rupee today is more worthy than a rupee tomorrow. Option B is a rupee today is more worthy than a rupee tomorrow by a factor of 2. Option C, a rupee today is less worthy than a rupee tomorrow by a factor of 2. Or option D, a rupee today is less worthy than a rupee tomorrow. So the correct answer to this question is option D. Option D states, if the discount factor is greater than 1, then a rupee today is less worthier than a rupee tomorrow. Coming up to the next question. The fifth question is, the process by which a cash flow today is converted into its expected value in future is called. What is the process by which cash flow today is converted into its expected value in future? The options are A. Appreciating, B. Compounding, C. Discounting, or D. Futurizing. The correct answer to this question is B. Compounding. The process by which a cash flow today is converted into expected value in the future is called compounding. Coming up to the next question. Net present value, that is NPV, is defined as dash total of total present value of a dash cash flows. Net present value is defined as dash total of present value of a dash of cash flows. The options are geometric and virtual series. Option B, algebraic and time series. Option C, linear and discounting balance. And option D, investment and annuity series. The correct answer is option B, algebraic and time series. That is, net present value is defined as algebraic total of present value of a time series of cash flows. This is an important question. This might appear in your examination. Please note and star mark this question. Coming up to the next question. When we invest in some business and forego the return in some other risk-free avenues, such a phenomena is called. The options are A. Opportunity cost, B. Riskless avenue cost, C. Opportunist pricing, or D. Benchmark opportunity cost. The options are, I will repeat the options once again. Options are a bit confusing. You may not have heard about these options. So it might confuse you that what is the right answer. Even after you are knowing the answer, still you might get confused at some point. So when we invest in some business and forego the return in some other risk-free avenues, such a phenomenon is called. The correct answer is opportunity cost. We have read it. Opportunity cost is defined as return or foregone income while investing in some business project instead of investing the same amount in risk-free securities like FDR. Investment that offers rate of return higher than opportunity cost shall be accepted. So coming up to the next question. The greater the uncertainty associated with a cash flow in future, and your options are A. Higher the provisional rate used to calculate the present value, higher the provisional rate used to calculate the present value, higher the discount rate used to calculate the present value, or lower the discount rate used to calculate the present value. Option B will be lower the provisional rate. There is some mistake, please edit. The correct answer to this question is option C, higher the discount rate used to calculate the present value. So I will repeat the question. The greater the uncertainty associated with a cash flow in future, higher is the discount rate used to calculate the present value. Now coming up to the ninth question. Avenues that have a dash NPV shall be invested upon. And the options are -1, negative, positive, or square of risk. So avenue that have a dash NPV shall be invested upon. The correct answer is positive NPV. So avenues having a positive NPV that is net present value that we saw in the last question, shall be invested upon. 10th question is approximate number of years in which the value of amount doubles is called. And your options are A. Rule of 27, B. Rule of 72, C. Rule of 77, and D. Rule of 22. So the correct answer to this question is B. Rule of 72. Rule of 72 provides the approximate number of years in which the value of money doubles, but at interest compounding at yearly frequency. This yearly frequency is an important question. It may appear in your examination. That rule of 72 applies if the interest is compounded at yearly, half yearly, monthly, or quarterly. The correct answer will be yearly frequency. So rule of 72 applies only when interest is compounded at yearly frequency. Coming up to the 11th question. 11th question is cash flow paid or received at regular intervals is called. And options are A. Ordinary annuity, B. Ordinary installment, C. Annuity, or D. Perpetuity. The correct answer is D. Perpetuity. Cash flow paid or received at regular intervals is called perpetuity. Examples of this being pension or rent received, etc. Coming up to the next question, sinking fund. What is a sinking fund? This is an important question. Please star mark this question. This might appear in your upcoming examination. The sinking fund is, and the options are, a fund in which firms make annual contributions to have enough funds to meet a financial liability in future. Option B, a fund in which firms make quarterly contributions against depreciation of fixed assets by a written down method. Option C, a fund created by resolution company under IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, for asset distribution among equity shareholders. Or option D, a fund that has depreciated so much that it is not considered, or it is considered as a loss asset in balance sheet of the firm. This is an important question. The correct answer to this question is A. Sinking fund is a fund in which firms make annual contributions in order to have enough funds to meet a large financial liability in future. The next question is balloon repayment loan refers to. This is an important term again. Balloon repayment term refers to, options are, loan on which only principal is paid during the entire tenure of the loan and interest is paid in the end. Option B, loans on which interest is paid incrementally during the tenure of the loan and entire principal is paid in the end. Option C, loans on which principal is paid incrementally during the tenure of the loan and entire interest is paid in the end. Or option D, loan on which only interest is paid during the tenure of the loan and entire principal is paid in the end. The correct answer is balloon repayment loan refers to loan on which interest is paid during the tenure of the loan. Only interest is served during the tenure of the loan and entire principal component of the loan is paid in the end. Now coming up to the next question, which of the following is not a type of random sampling? Options are simple random sampling, systematic random sampling, cluster sampling, or stratified unbiased sampling. The correct answer is stratified unbiased sampling is not a type of random sampling. So four main types of random sampling are there, that are simple random sampling, systematic sampling, cluster sampling, and stratified sampling. Coming up to the 15th question, stratified sampling is used when? Options are A. Population is already divided into groups of different sizes. Option B, population is not divided into group of different sizes. Option C, population is a homogeneous mixture of partially divided groups of similar sizes. Or option D, population is a heterogeneous mix of partially divided groups of different sizes. The correct answer is option A. Stratified sampling is used when population is already divided into groups of different sizes. This is an important question, please mark it. Coming up to the next question, standard deviation of the distribution of a sample statistic is called. Options are standard distribution, option B, standard effect, option C, standard error, or option D, linear error. So, standard deviation of a distribution of a sample statistic is called. The correct answer is standard error. Standard deviation of the distribution of a sample statistic is called standard error of the statistic. Now coming up to the 17th question, standard deviation of a sampling distribution is equal to the population standard deviation divided by dash of the sample size. So this is actually a formula that has been converted into a one-liner question. The options are A, mean, B, square root, C, double, or D, variable proportion. The correct answer is B, square root. That is, standard deviation of the sampling distribution is equal to the population standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size. Now coming up to the 18th question, as the standard error decreases, what effect does it have? The options are precision with which estimated population mean can be used to estimate the sample mean decreases. Precision with which sample mean can be used to estimate population mean decreases. Option C, precision with which sample mean can be used to estimate the population mean increases. Or option D, no relation to precision with which sample mean can be used to estimate the population mean. The correct answer to this question is option C. As the standard error decreases, precision with which sample mean can be used to estimate the population mean increases. So it is an inverse relation. Now coming up to the 19th question, value that describes the characteristics of a population are called. Options are A, parameter, B, statistic, C, intrinsic strata, or D, parametric clusters. The correct answer to this question is A, parameters. Values that describe the characteristics of a population are called its parameters. Now coming up to the next question. While plotting relationship between two variables, this is an important question, please mark it. While plotting relationship between two variables, if we cannot draw a line to fit the data but a curve can be drawn, such a relationship is called. Options are A, curvilinear relationship, B, unplotted linear relationship, C, curve plotted relationship, or D, none of the above. The correct answer to this question is A, curvilinear relationship. So while plotting a relationship between two variables, if we cannot draw a line to fit the data but a curve can be drawn, such a relationship is called curvilinear relationship. Now coming up to the next question, value of correlation coefficient, that is R, always lies between. Options are 0 and 1, option B, -1 and +1, option C, 0 and 2, and option D, -1 and 0. The correct answer to this question is, this is also an important question, please star mark this, value of correlation coefficient, that is R, always lies between -1 and +1. Now let me tell you, values of R, if -1, +1, or 0, it indicates different types of, it has different type of implications. If R is equal to -1, this indicates perfect inverse relationship between the variables. If R is equal to +1, that indicates perfect direct relationship between the variables. And if R is equal to 0, that indicates there is no linear relationship between variables, but curvilinear relationship may exist. So this question might be asked in different forms. So I have given you some details also. Now coming up to the 22nd question, if the value of correlation coefficient R is equal to -1, this I had explained in the last question, but let us see how it impacts the scatter diagram. The options are A, all points in the scatter diagram lie on the flat line vertical to x-axis. Option B, all points in the scatter diagram lie on a flat line horizontal to x-axis. Option C, all points in the scatter diagram lie on the line sloping from left to right. Or option D, all points in the scatter diagram lie on a line slanting down from left to right. The correct answer to this question is option D. So if the value of correlation coefficient R is equal to -1, then all points in the scatter diagram lie on a line slanting down from left to right. So coming up to the next question, 23rd question is, technique used to ensure that the difference between points in the scatter diagram and those on the line is minimal is called. Options are A. Correlation coefficients. Option B. Regression multiple. Option C. Least square. या option D. Scatter square. The correct answer is option C. Least square. Technique used to ensure that difference between points in the scatter diagram and those on the line is minimal is called least squares. Coming up to the 24th question, which of the following are different types of variation in time series? And there are certain types are given: secular trend, cyclical fluctuation, seasonal variation, or irregular variation. And from the options you have to choose whether first and third are correct, whether first and second are correct, whether 2, 3 and 4th are correct, or option D, all of the above are correct. Let me tell you, the answer is all of the above. Different types of variation in time series are secular trend, cyclical fluctuation, seasonal variation, and irregular variation. Coming up to the 25th question, the index that is used to measure seasonal variation using ratio to moving average method is based on a mean of dash. The options are: option A is 10, option B is 100, option C is 1, or option D is 0.1. So what is the index that is used to measure the seasonal variation using ratio to moving average method? The answer is correct. Option B, that is 100. This index that is used to measure the seasonal variation using ratio to moving average method is based on a mean of 100. So coming up to the next question, sample statistic that is used to estimate a population parameter is called. Options are: A. Parameter, B. Estimator, C. Estimatometer, or D. Tachometer. The correct answer is B. Estimator. Sample statistic that is used to estimate a population parameter is called estimator. Coming up to the 27th question, which of the following is a drawback of a good estimator? So in the last question we read what is an estimator, and in this question it is asking which of the following is a drawback of a good estimator. The options are: A. Unbiased, B. Efficient, C. Consistent, or D. None of the above. The correct answer is D. None of the above. Being an unbiased, efficient, consistent, and sufficient are the 4 criterion of a good estimator. Coming up to the 28th question, probability associated with an interval estimate is called. Options are: A. Confidence level, B. Probable estimate, C. Point estimate, or D. Proportion estimate. The correct answer is A. Confidence level. Probability associated with an interval estimate is called the confidence level. Coming up to the 29th question, the 29th question is: fixed interest payment received each year till the bond matures is called coupon. This is an important question. This may be asked in different forms. Fixed interest payment received each year till the bond matures is called coupon, because options are: government issues coupon against these bonds that can be redeemed every year. Option B, bonds are issued with coupon rate in different currencies. Option C, bonds used to have coupon that investors clipped off and mailed to the bond issuer to claim interest. Or option D, bonds are traded using these coupons in the secondary and tertiary capital market when the rate decreases. The correct answer to this question is option C. Fixed interest payment received each year till the bond matures is called coupon, because bonds used to have coupon that investor clipped off and mailed to the bond issuer to claim interest. This is a historic practice. Now coming up to the 30th question, when the market rate exceeds the coupon rate, this is an important question, please star mark it. This might appear in their upcoming examination. When the market rate exceeds the coupon rate, options are: bond sells for lesser than the face value, bond sells for more than the face value, bond sells for equal to the face value, or bond sells for double to the face value. The correct answer is when market rate exceeds the coupon rate, bond sells for less the value than its face value, or vice versa. Coming up to the 31st question, discount rate that equates the bond's price to the present value of all its promised cash flow is called. Options are: coupon rate of return, option B, held for sale, option C, yield to maturity, or option D, return on investment. The correct answer is option C, yield to maturity. Discount rate that equates the bond's price to the present value of all its promised cash flow is called yield to maturity. Coming up to the 32nd question, when interest rate rises, the present value of payments to be received by the bondholder, and options are: falls, rises, no change, or may rise or fall depending upon the prevailing market situation. The correct answer is when interest rate rises, the present value of payments to be received by the bondholder falls. So option A is correct, and this also applies vice versa. Coming up to the 33rd question, interest is the reward for parting with liquidity. This is an important statement. This was given by, options are: Adam Smith, J.M. Keynes, option C, Peter Drucker, or option D, Robert Estimentin. The correct answer to this question is option B, J.M. Keynes. J.M. Keynes had this statement that interest is the reward we earn for parting with liquidity. Coming up to the 31st question, that is takeout financing is. This question asks you what is mean by takeout financing. Options are A, phase-wise disbursement taken out of a sanctioned loan. Option B, financing under consortium banking to bail out a sinking bank. Option C, financing used in takeover of a small firm by a giant. Or option D, financing where a loan is procured later and is used to replace the initial loan. The correct answer is option D. Takeout financing is financing where a loan is procured later and is used to replace the initially taken loan. This is an important question. This terminology may be appearing in examination. Now coming up to the last question of this slide. Bulldog bond is a dash currency denominated bond. So in which currency does Bulldog bond is released? The options are A, US dollar, B, Singapore dollar, C, pound sterling, and D, Japanese yen. The correct answer is pound sterling, option C. Bulldog bond is a pound sterling denominated bond issued in London by foreign institution. So by this we come to the end of this second module theory portion for your ABM examination. I hope this will be helpful in clearing the examination for you and you are preparing well. This is the last moment rush that we are having, and in the upcoming times, if you like the video, if you share and subscribe, and we can increase the frequency of the videos and come up with module 3 and module 4 immediate. In the end, appreciate you for your time that you have given us. If you like the effort done by us, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.